I'll start exactly at 6 o'clock in 1 minute, and I'll try to make it short, 20 minutes. If anybody has questions, they can always ask at the end. We're going to go through the basics. I think most of you know all of this information already, but there's some good details that we added. Present. All right, it's 6 p.m. Let's go. If anybody is late, they can always watch it on YouTube. We'll publish it. So today we're going to talk about the host family orientation, especially for the groups. Sorry if I stop once in a while because I'm accepting people on Zoom. So we're going to talk mostly about the host families who are hosting participants who are coming for the 3 week plus the 3 excursion program, and mostly in Orange County or around Orange County. I know some of you guys are in Corona or in Long Beach or even in Carlsbad, but that the main idea is that the 3 excursion, we have a meeting point, which is in Orange County. So here we go. We also have students who come a la carte full immersion, and they can be placed anywhere in California. They choose their dates, but they just can't join those 3 excursion. So at We-Connect, we specialize in one thing only. It's full immersion and an American host family, or in a volunteer host family during the summertime for 3 or 4 weeks. And we also do the opposite, which is Americans going to France, Spain, or Italy, or Germany during the summertime for 3 or 4 weeks. That's all we do. We've been doing it for 12 years now. So thank you for hosting. Hosting as an international student is very valuable, even for the host family. It's really fun to promote cultural exchange and understanding. Your support helps students make their dreams come true, really, from France, Spain, Italy, and immerse themselves in cultures and family lifetime. There's no better way to learn the language than to be fully immersed in the heart of a host family. I believe that very much so because I remember learning Spanish for 8 years in classroom and then going to Spain for 3 weeks, and then my Spanish got way better. So when I was 15, really early on as an exchange student, my English, my whatever language I was doing would get way better if I was just like having fun. And so that's the main idea behind We-Connect. These kids obviously come to improve their English, but really also as a human experience to come and adapt to a host family, which is a huge part of it too. They all love that. They come back very proud of themselves to be able to adapt to another host family. We hear that all the time. Like, oh my gosh, my son or my daughter grew so much from this experience. So that's a cool thing. The student background. Our students are from France, Spain, and Italy. They are all from different cities. We also have Danish students this year within these countries. And most of the students do not know each other before embarking on this adventure. Really, our point is that each individual kid is placed with a host family and doesn't really get to see the others because we want them to have their immersion with you, the American family. So that's on purpose. They are 13 to 17 years old, and for many of them, this is the first time in the USA. Their goal is to be part of your family for a short summer and improve their English in a family environment. And some of them right now are a bit freaked out, just letting you know. So if you want to reassure them about like the protest in LA, I try to always say like, hey, look, like if we didn't have our TV, we wouldn't even know about it. You know, it's like 100 miles away from us. Don't worry about it. It's like 3 or 4 streets downtown LA. Everybody wants to make a big deal, which I don't even know, but like they are a little bit nervous, and the parents are too, because if you watch the media in France and in Spain and Italy, they make it seem, or even in the US, like it's all of Los Angeles and you can't even walk outside, whereas like right now everything seems pretty good. So if you want to reassure them, please go ahead and do that. Just because the parents might be a little bit afraid of the news that they're watching. Getting in touch with your student prior to arrival. This is very important. I just found out just today that one family was not in touch with their exchange student. Most of you guys we should have sent your host family application to the agency in Europe, and they should have sent it to the student. I know it's a lot of different people involved, so sometimes it goes to spam, sometimes it goes to this and this. It's our job to make sure that you guys are communicating before they arrive. So if you are not communicating with your student, then it's not an issue or anything. Just let us know by text or email so we can make sure that Europe is aware of that and get in touch, at least a WhatsApp or an email or a FaceTime. I really encourage FaceTime or WhatsApp video because it makes the parents so much happier and reassured to know that they got to see you in real person. Just like if you're sending your kids to France or Spain, it's a little bit nerve-wracking. So it is reassuring to do that. So if you haven't heard from them, please let us know. And other application, other information's out there too. Usually we say the student sends the first email to the host family, but at this point, if you haven't heard from them, go ahead and get their phone number on their app or their email and try to contact them as well, because sometimes it gets lost in the emails or something. Arrivals. So for your group, most students will be picked up by a Oui-Connect coordinator and meet host families at a specific spot. In your case, it's going to be the IHOP parking lot at the John Wayne Airport across the street, even though it came to our attention that that whole IHOP is under construction this year. So a little bit of the IHOP is completely destroyed, and a little bit of the parking lot, that's where we usually meet, is also under construction. So we'll see on the first day. Worst case, there's like a El Torito right next door, and we'll just meet there. But we're gonna be within like 50 yards of that area anyways, so you won't miss us. Sorry, a lot of people are joining in right now. For the people who just joined in, just don't worry about it. I'm also gonna send out an email with a YouTube link where this is recorded, so you can just go on YouTube and watch the exact same thing I just spoke about. Please check. This is not mandatory, but it really helps for new host families. So we will pick up the students at LAX and drive them to a specific point. We have kids coming all day long on June 27th and July 18th. So we're not going to make the students wait who arrive at 12 until the flight that arrives at 6. So we're going to go back and forth a couple of times. Instead of having a bus, we're having a 15-passenger van like that. It's smaller groups. So the longest they'll wait is like 1 hour and a half at LAX for the last kid coming out of the airplane. So there's some families that will come around 3 to 5 o'clock, some around 6 p.m., and some around 8, 9 p.m. And we sent you an email with the specific range of times. We always text before we leave LAX. So when we're leaving LAX with your student, we'll be like, hey, we're leaving LAX, ETA, blah, blah, blah. Like that, you don't have to be waiting at the parking lot for 30 to 40 minutes. You should get a text from us. So that's important to know. We use an app for texting, broadcast texting, and you can't reply to it. So that's also important for you to know. If you want to reply, just reply to me or Brittany on our text that you've been communicating with us already. Please check the flight. If you are picking up your student at the airport, which I know a couple of families are because they're close by, just make sure you check the flight status before leaving your home, obviously, to LAX. And all these pictures are from the last couple of years. Greeting with a welcome sign. This is always fun. It's an icebreaker for the student. They're stressed, they're jet lagged, they're hungry or stomach because they've just flown a long flight away from their parents and friends. Like having that little welcome sign makes them feel so welcome and happy. So if you can make something, it doesn't have to be super fancy or anything. Just make a little welcome sign for your exchange student. It makes it fun. It's not required. You don't have to do it, but it is fun. And you can be creative. Every year we have some fun ones. For departure, you guys don't have to take them to the airport either. Just drop them off at our meeting point, which is the IHOP parking lot. Just make sure they have their passport, before you leave the house. It has happened that the kid lost a passport or something, and we take care of it. But before they leave the house or the day prior, they're 15 years old, 16 years old. Sometimes even though we tell them a million times, they don't know. So make sure they have their passport. And we had a question, we do orientation with our students as well. And one student was like, do we take our passport everywhere? My answer was no. Once you're at the house of the host family, just leave your passport in one specific area. You don't have to take it everywhere with you. That increases the risk of them losing it. And obviously we don't want them to lose a passport. We leave early. We only have 2 different shuttles to the airport on departure. So it's possible that one student is going to complain saying like, oh, my flight's at, 5 p.m. or 4 p.m. Why am I leaving at 8 a.m.? Just because it's a big group. We have many different flights. Some are leaving at 12 and, it's just easier for us. And honestly, at International Terminal LAX, they have a lot of little stores and stuff that they can hang out with, and so they're going to be fine. Support and, oh, no, what is this? Insurance and consent for medical treatment. So on the second page of their application or a third page, there is a consent for medical treatment from their parents that is signed. You as a volunteer host family don't have to sign anything in general. So please don't, if you have any medical emergency or anything, like the Americans hospital might want you to sign or give your address. You don't have to give your address. You're just a volunteer host family. If you have to give an address, give the We-Connect office address where you can always text me for that one. But we don't want you to get medical bills in the future and stuff like that. They actually have great insurance with Aetna and AVI. This is a copy of them, and you every single year, if we had like a small issue at a hospital or a visit or something, they paid for everything, and it went really, really well. So if it's just a small problem and they want to go to a doctor, I would say just call the urgent care. You can call the number, or you can call us, and we can call the number to tell you what urgent care they need to go to. Um, or if it's an emergency, don't call us. Just take them to the emergency room, obviously. So it's not going to happen, but if it does, they're completely insured, and it's going to be okay. Honestly, again, their insurance is actually pretty good, so that's pretty cool. Because some of them travel insurances, you have to pay up front, and then they pay you back a long time afterwards. But this one, a lot of it, they just take it up front, and they don't have to pay anything. Don't hesitate to text us for any kind of like medical problem anyways, but and if you want the insurance card yourself, just email us. I know we have a copy, the students have a copy, we tell them to take a picture on their phone.
What? Thing.
The cultural exchange and learning. The immersion program aims to improve students' English while exposing. Can you put your microphone on mute? I think it's Megan. I don't know. Yeah, engaging in the daily routines provide a rich environment for both the student and host family to share and learn about each other's culture. Again, we do an orientation with the students. Some of them are more shy than others, and we obviously have a whole slide about being on your phone. It's so hard with teenagers nowadays because they are far from home. They have a phone and they look at it, and we tell them, please stay away from the phone. The rules of the host family is the rules of the house. So if you have a strict rule about phones, tell them right away, hey, no phones unless we say it's okay. You can be on your phone like at night before bedtime or whatever it is. But if whatever rule you have about your phones, that's the rule for the exchange student. They have to adapt to you. You do not have to adapt to them. And we repeat that all the time. I always take the example of the family asking me, hey, we go to church on Sunday. Is that okay to ask our exchange student to come with us? I'm like, yeah, of course. They're adapting. They're coming as a cultural exchange program. If you go to church on Sunday, they're going to church on Sunday with you. You don't even have to ask them. You just take them, and it's fun. It's part of the cultural exchange. So they adapt to you always. So depending on your rules about phone, you have the right to be like, hey, you've been on your phone too much. Like you can act as the parent for 3 weeks because they are on their phone sometimes too much. It's addicting. It's just the way it is in our society. Um, and you could always text us, hey, Hector or Brittany, like my exchange student's on his phone a lot, or he's in his room a lot. We get those once in a while. And the first 5 days is very normal that they're homesick and stuff. But like after like 3 or 4 days, if they're still like really not talking and stuff, like we have ways to ask the student, hey, try more. Sometimes just the kid just really is shy and can't get out of his shell. That happens like once every like 50 to 60 kids where like, the kid is just so shy. I personally don't like when that happens because I feel like the host family is losing from the experience. But most of our students are very outgoing and talkative. But it's still, even those kids, it takes 3 or 4 days for them to really start, opening up. So just remember that. Just common sense. Family activities. Encouraging participants in family activities foster a sense of belonging. Host families should invite students to engage in planning family meals and outings, enhancing cultural exchange and strengthening the bonds. For example, like if you have an exchange student from France, they always make the joke like, I can make some crepes because I'm from France. So go ahead, go to the grocery store, buy eggs and flour and whatever it is, the Nutella box, and tell them to make crepes for you. And if you have a Spanish, tell them to make a Spanish meal from their country. All those things make the whole family more fun, and it really does create a fun dynamic in your household for 3 weeks during the summertime, and that's what we're looking for as well. So those are just a bunch of little ideas to give you, and play board games and things like that. It really is fun for the family as well. A lot of people tell us, hey, without hosting, we would have never done this, this, and this, and this. So thank you. Even just exploring our region, which we have so many cool things in Southern California, a lot of families do them just because they have an exchange student, and then they're very thankful that they did it. They would have never done it either way. So here's the first calendar for the people hosting during the first session. You're lucky because you get 4th of July, which the kids love that. So if you are hosting during the 4th of July, we purposely have the excursions planned towards the back 10 days because like that the kids don't get to see each other. On the first time they see all each other, like all the French kids or the Spanish kids, they automatically exchange their WhatsApp and stuff and start saying like, oh, let's try to hang out. We have that once in a while. So we know that like at least the first 10 days is fully immersed in the host family, and then they'll get the distraction of the other French kids or Spanish kids that are also on the program. Every year we get, a little bit of like, oh, I want to go here, blah, blah. We try to avoid that. We really like that the fact that they're so happy to share their experience with other French students or Spanish students, but like we really want them to it goes by so fast, like to be with you as much as possible. So whale watching, same thing, come at 10 a.m. A lot of this group for the first session and second session are actually kind of far from John Wayne Airport, the IHOP. So like make sure you're on time, because when you're not on time, it's just everybody else is not on time afterwards too, especially for Universal Studios. If we're leaving 15, 20 minutes late, it means that everybody in the bus is losing 20 minutes, right? So obviously common sense again. So this is the schedule for the first session. 4th of July is so fun. Do the whole, like show them the firework things. Everybody has a fun 4th of July thing. They love that. The farewell party is at Coronel Del Mar State Beach. We're always at the far right, and we'll email you and text you the day before for all the details. But it's a great beach. It's the most beautiful beach, I think, in all of Southern California. It has the boats coming out, the palm trees, the sunset, bonfire pits. So the kids just love it. You can bring chairs and blankets. We will provide all the food. Usually it's like s'mores and a bunch of American unhealthy food, but it's fun. The kids love it. So bring your whole family, invite whoever you want. It's a fun time. And if you want to come early, come early. We're going to be at the far right side if you're facing the ocean. It's not yeah, it kind of is. The kids really like going to the farewell party. And the second session is very similar. So same thing, farewell party, blah, blah, blah. That's it. Pretty straightforward. We do the excursions on purpose during the weekdays because we know most host families have more time on the weekends in general. So that's also on purpose. The first few days kind of went over this already, but keep in mind that they are jet lagged. Some of them are homesick. I can't even count how many students said like, oh, after 3 or 4 days, I was so homesick. I thought I was never going to be okay. And then after 3 weeks, they don't want to go home, So they all tell me that in the bus, the French speakers. Make sure your student understands what you're saying. Some of them, their English are getting better and better over the last 12 years that we've been doing this. But, some of them not really good at English, which is funny. We've had so many funny stories in the past about the language barrier. But yeah, sometimes they might say yes or say no, but they're not actually understanding that. So that's just something you have to remember. Speak slowly, unlike me, with simple words. If you're having a difficulty communicating verbally, trying to write it down. Today we have phones as well, so you can speak in your phone and it translates. So if you're really having a hard time communicating, you can always use your phone. They often understand written words better. Your students will be exhausted after such a long journey and time difference. Give them time to adapt. When they first arrive, you can ask them, are you hungry? Because some of them will be hungry, some of them are not going to be hungry. So In-N-Out is always a fun first little adventure in SoCal. We have this last point saying, do not plan anything too ambitious. That's not really true. I mean, if you're doing something really fun, go ahead and do it. They're 15, 16, they'll get over it. Simple activities will help the students feel welcome. The cultural shock, I always take the example of like the fridge. Like, I grew up in France. There is no way and a French person, even after you tell them, will ever open your fridge. It's so rude in France to open a fridge from somebody that is not your own home, that it's just that's a cultural thing. So like you might think like, oh, you might tell them, hey, you can go and make your own sandwich. But like the kid has such a hard time opening the fridge because it's not his house. That's one cultural thing. More and more, the world is becoming so globalized that there's less huge cultural differences. Obviously, they might try to kiss you when they say hello, in the French, kiss. I always tell them, be careful, the Americans are going to hug you. And that's a funny one. But yeah, so also like being shocked at how early you're going to be eating, like especially for the Spanish kids who eat like at 10 p.m. Most of them actually eat at 10 p.m. every day, especially during the summertime. So eating at 5:30 in America is like a huge cultural shock. They don't get it, and then usually they have a bowl of cereal afterwards. Very American, but really fun. Again, don't change your ways. They have to adapt to your ways. So it's just fun and Just be patient. Try to show them if you have specific rules in your house, just show them around. Americans are known to be more expressive. That's so true as well. I tell the kids all the time from France, like try to be more expressive because you know how the French are. They're a little bit more rude and they don't say hello as much. You know, that's probably just a cultural thing that they're not as expressive as you are. It's all about being open-minded. Remind your student it's not worse, it's not better, it's just different. And I think we have the bathroom tips. That's a big one too. Yeah, bathroom tips. The biggest one for bathroom tips in California is the how long you want them to take a shower. So most kids are just, you know, common sense and they don't go over the time of a normal shower. Some might. So you might be like, hey, we're in California, it's very dry. Can you make sure that you don't take more than 4 minute, 5 minute showers? You know, just at least that they're aware of that because we had host families complaining in the past saying, hey, my exchange student is taking like 10, 15, 20 minute showers, you know, so you have to let them know if that's the case. And same for cleaning up, you know, picking up, again, we tell them, but they're still 15 teenagers, like picking up, washing behind them in the shower and just show them things like, especially for laundry as they arrive on the first day, be like, hey, you know, this is how you do your laundry if you want to do your laundry. Or if you're a mom or a dad, whatever it is that likes doing the laundry for everybody else, tell them, hey, once a week or twice a week, well, I'll take your laundry. This is it. I'll do it. Are you okay with that? You know, so the laundry is also something to share on the first day and just be blunt and open-minded about it. So either give them the instructions or tell them when you do it and how you can help them. Pocket money, that's a big one because there are sometimes misunderstandings between families. You guys are all amazing volunteer host families, and inflation has gone wild over the last 6 years. So we tell the kids, hey, look, these families are doing it with the heart. They're opening their house. They're opening their heart to you, their family. Like yeah, they're gonna consider you as their own son or daughter for 3 weeks. But like you know, you have to pay for anything outside the house. So we tell them, and of course, some host families are going to invite the kids to this, and this. And that's because everybody's different. Our job is to let the exchange students know and their parents know from France, Italy, Spain, Denmark that like anything outside the house should be up to them to pay for. So, for example, you're going to Wild Rivers in Irvine. The exchange student has to be paying for that unless you want to invite them, and then you can make it clear, hey, I'll pay for it, don't worry about it, you know. But otherwise the student knows about it, the parents know about it. It's not awkward because we told them that they should be paying for anything outside the house. Sometimes though, like you have to be clear because if you do a 2 day trip and you go to Disneyland and then all of a sudden you be like, hey, it's gonna cost, after you do the whole thing, you tell them, hey, it's gonna cost you 350, and the student was not aware about that. That puts, you know, us in a gray, you know, area where it's like, well, you know, they might have not known the price, you know, they're 15, 16. So just make sure that you tell them the price, especially for Disneyland. If you're not inviting them, this is going to be the price. Can you afford it? Is that okay? You know, just be blunt with them. Or if you're talking to their mom and dad in France, go ahead. Don't advance any money, please. And we tell them as well, just don't advance money. It's always such a hassle because some students will be like, I'll pay you back later on. My mom will send you money through Wise international transfer. It's such a headache each time. They have extra money because we tell them to bring it. They should pay you back or have their credit card and get money at the thing, whatever it works. Try not to advance any money. It's always a headache. That's it. So yeah, if you have some kind of big plan that costs, you know, more than like $40, just say like, hey, we would like to take you here. It's going to cost this much. Is that something you would like to do? That's always a good sentence. It's straightforward and everybody understands. Or even plan it in advance. You know, like right now, as you communicate with your host family, hey, we might want to take you to this. It's going to be this much money. You know, it's okay to do it because we've told the parents that's how it's going to be. So they know about that too. And they're very thankful and grateful for everything you do as a host family. So don't be shy about that. There's a lot of free and expensive things to do. I always love, the kids love cars and coffee in San Clemente, or there's cars and coffee everywhere. So those just are just small ideas. I'm sure you guys have a lot of different ideas too, but beaches, obviously, malls. I always make the joke, but they're excited just to go to Costco, you know, Walmart and Target, all those areas that they don't have in France and Spain and Italy and Denmark. Those are things that they're excited about. So just remember that the small things that you wouldn't think are crazy cool, it's great, is really cool for them. So it doesn't have to be expensive to be fun. Um, Exploring DC. And that's really the end of our presentation. So our contact information is obviously your emergency number with me. Brittany, also their number is here. If you want to take a picture of Brittany's number, she's the one who sent you the email last week with all the welcome information as well. So we're going to be here in Orange County full time all summer, answering the phone, emergencies. Try to know what an emergency is and not, like if it is an emergency, call us. But if it's like 3 o'clock, if it's not, we can always wait because we do have an emergency phone number. Um, that's that's it. I'll leave the recording on if there's any questions. Any questions? And remember, you can always, text us. We answer pretty quickly. So if you have any questions that are more private, feel free. And for the first people who are coming, it's going to be when? It's going to be June 27th. And then the second group will be July 18th. So I'm looking so forward. We have great families this year. Seems like we have great students as well. It's going to be a good time. Oh, I see somebody in the chat. Holly. Oh, the departure time should be on that welcome email. I know that email's super long, but like at the end of it, it says departure, and it's not a departure time from the airplane. We have two different departure times, I think. One is at 8 or 9 a.m. with the bus for all the students leaving anytime between 11 a.m. from LAX to like 3 or 4 p.m. at LAX, and then we have the bus coming at 2 p.m. at IHOP, and that's picking up all the kids leaving between 5 to. We have some students who are leaving at 9 p.m. So that's the answer for the arrivals. We're just gonna have two different shuttles to LAX. Is it me or did the voice get really quiet? I don't know. I didn't do anything.
No question from us, Hector. That sounds
Thank you,
perfect.
Paul. Oh, you can't hear me? I'm sorry, Holly. I don't think I changed anything if you can't hear me. Didn't change anything. You guys can leave if you have no more questions. And I'll keep on answering. All right. Going once, going twice. Wait, I'm stop recording.